the mystery that begins when you fall asleep. Every night you close your eyes believing nothing changes. The house goes quiet, your breathing slows down, and your mind drifts into a state where the world around you seems to fade. It feels like everything pauses, like time itself softens. But there is one presence in that same space that does not follow your rhythm. Your cat does not disappear when you fall asleep. That is when something begins. Experts in feline behavior explain that cats operate on a different internal clock. While humans are driven by daylight, cats are naturally more alert during the night and early hours. Studies from animal behavior researchers show that when your environment becomes still, your cat becomes more attentive. The silence you experience is not silence to them. It is a shift in energy. It is a moment where every small sound, every subtle movement becomes clearer. Now picture this with precision. The room is dark. Your body is completely still. Your breathing is deep and steady. And somewhere in that same space, your cat is awake, watching, listening, moving slowly, carefully, almost invisibly, not in a random way, but with intention. Researchers who have observed domestic cats in controlled environments noticed something unexpected. When humans sleep, cats do not simply roam aimlessly. They change their behavior. They begin to monitor their surroundings more closely, revisiting familiar areas, checking specific spots, and often returning to the same locations near their owners. But here is what most people never realize. Not everything your cat does at night is driven by instinct alone. There is something deeper happening, something quieter. Because while you sleep, your cat is not just navigating the house. It is responding to you, to your presence, to your state, in ways that are subtle, almost invisible, yet incredibly consistent. And once you understand what is really happening during these hours, you will start to see your cat differently. Not as a passive companion resting beside you, but as an active presence that remains connected to you, even when you are completely unaware. What you are about to discover are behaviors that happen every single night, hidden in plain sight, silently shaping the bond between you and your cat. And once you see it, you will not be able to unsee it. Your cat is not who you think at night. During the day, your cat seems predictable. It sleeps for hours, stretches lazily, chooses quiet corners, and often gives the impression that nothing really matters. Many people believe this is the true nature of a cat. Calm, detached, almost indifferent. But that version you see during the day is only part of the story. Specialists in feline behavior explain that cats are crepuscular animals. This means their peak activity does not happen when the sun is high, but when light fades and the world becomes quieter. Studies from researchers in animal behavior and veterinary science have shown that domestic cats retain this pattern from their wild ancestors who depended on low light conditions to hunt and survive. So when night arrives, your cat does not simply continue the same routine. It shifts. Its senses become sharper. Its movements become more deliberate. Its attention expands in ways that are almost impossible to notice unless you are awake to witness it. What looks like stillness during the day is actually conservation of energy. Experts often describe this as a strategic behavior. Your cat is not being lazy. It is preparing, storing energy for the hours when its instincts are most active. And those hours happen when you are asleep. This is where a second version of your cat emerges. One that is more alert, more aware, more connected to its environment. A version that moves through the house with purpose, following patterns, reacting to sounds you cannot hear, noticing details you would never perceive. But there is something even more intriguing. Researchers who observe cats in home environments have found that this nighttime behavior is not only about territory or instinct. It is also influenced by the human presence in the house. Your cat adjusts, it adapts. It takes you into account even when you are not conscious. This means that while you believe your cat is simply resting somewhere in the dark, it may actually be active, aware, and in subtle ways connected to you. And once you understand this, a question naturally arises. If your cat becomes a completely different animal at night, what exactly is it doing while you sleep? What really happens while you sleep? Now that you understand your cat is not the same at night, something starts to shift in the way you see those quiet hours. What once felt empty begins to feel active. What once felt still now carries intention. Because the truth is simple. While you sleep, your cat is not just passing time. It is living a completely different experience inside the same space you share. Researchers who study domestic cat behavior have observed that nighttime is when patterns become more visible. Movements repeat, paths are revisited. Specific actions happen again and again, almost like a silent routine unfolding in the dark. But what makes this even more fascinating is that these behaviors are not random. They follow logic. Specialists in animal behavior explain that cats build mental maps of their environment. They know where everything is. They know where they feel safe. They know where they last sensed movement, sound, or even your presence. And during the night, they revisit these points with precision. But here is where most people misunderstand what is happening. It is easy to assume that everything your cat does at night is about instinct alone, about territory, about hunting, about survival. And while those elements are real, they are not the whole picture. Because some of these behaviors are not about the environment, they are about you. Studies from researchers observing human-animal interaction have shown that cats do not ignore their owners during sleep. They respond to subtle cues, your breathing, your movements, your position. Even your scent changes slightly as your body relaxes. Your cat notices all of this, which means that while you are completely disconnected, your cat is still aware of you in ways that are quiet, constant, and intentional. And what you are about to see next will take this understanding even further. Because these are not just general patterns, these are specific behaviors that happen night after night, revealing a side of your cat that most people never truly notice. Fact 1. The silent guardian. While you sleep, completely unaware of what surrounds you, your cat enters a state of alertness that most people never witness. What looks like independence during the day transforms into something far more attentive at night. And this is where one of the most overlooked behaviors begins. Your cat becomes a silent guardian. Specialists in feline behavior explain that cats have a strong territorial instinct. But what many people do not realize is that this instinct does not turn off inside your home. Studies from animal behavior researchers show that even domestic cats treat their living space as a defined territory that needs to be monitored, especially during quieter hours. When everything goes still, your cat starts to pay closer attention. Subtle sounds that you would never notice become signals. Small changes in the environment become important. And instead of sleeping deeply through the entire night, your cat often alternates between rest and vigilance. Researchers observe that cats frequently wake up, reposition themselves, and scan their surroundings in short intervals. Not in a state of fear, but in a state of awareness. It is a natural pattern, deeply rooted in survival, where staying alert increases safety. But here is the part that changes how you see this behavior. This vigilance is not only about the environment, it is also about you. Experts in human-animal relationships explain that cats often choose resting positions that allow them to keep you within their sensory range. Even when their eyes are closed, their ears remain active, and their awareness does not fully shut down. Your presence becomes part of what they monitor. This means that while you believe your cat is simply sleeping somewhere nearby, it may actually be checking on the space you both share, maintaining a quiet watch over everything, including you. And once you understand this, a new question begins to form. If your cat is not just resting, but actively monitoring the environment, what else is it doing while moving through the house in the dark? Fact 2. The ritual of invisible walking. After moments of stillness, your cat begins to move. Not randomly, not without direction, but with a kind of precision that is almost impossible to notice unless you are awake. What seems like simple wandering is, in reality, a silent ritual repeated night after night. Researchers who study feline behavior observe that cats often follow the same routes inside their home. They move through specific paths, revisit certain corners, pause in familiar spots, and then continue as if following an internal map. This is not coincidence. It is structure. Experts explain that cats build a detailed mental representation of their territory. Every piece of furniture, every doorway, every scent, is part of a system they constantly update, and during the night, when the environment is quieter and less interrupted, they reinforce that map. This is why your cat may walk through the same places over and over again. It is checking, confirming, reassessing. The absence of noise makes every subtle change more noticeable, and your cat responds by moving through the space with intention. But there is something deeper happening within this behavior. Studies from animal cognition researchers suggest that these repeated movements are not only about territory, they are also about control and familiarity. By walking the same paths, your cat maintains a sense of stability in an environment that, from its perspective, is constantly shifting. And then there is you. Your scent, your position, the areas where you spend most of your time, all become central points in this invisible routine. Your cat does not just move through the house. It moves around you, around your presence, around what represents you in that space. This means that while you are asleep, believing everything is still, your cat may be quietly tracing patterns around you, reinforcing a connection you cannot see. And if it is moving like this through the house, following a precise and repeated path, something else becomes inevitable. At some point, that movement leads directly back to you. Fact 3. The moment your cat watches you. At some point during the night, your cat stops moving. Not because it is tired, not because it has nothing to do, but because something draws its attention in a very specific way. And more often than people realize, that focus is you. Researchers who study feline behavior have observed that cats frequently spend time watching their owners while they sleep. This is not random curiosity. It is a deliberate pause. A moment of observation where your cat becomes completely still, focused, attentive. To understand this, you need to see the situation from your cat's perspective. You are lying there, unmoving, silent, breathing slowly. Your body is in a state your cat does not fully replicate. Experts explain that this creates a unique stimulus. Your cat recognizes that something is different, and that difference triggers attention. Studies from animal behavior specialists show that cats are highly sensitive to changes in routine and body language. When you are awake, your movements are predictable. But when you sleep, you become less responsive, less interactive. And that alone is enough to make your cat observe you more closely. But this behavior goes beyond simple curiosity. Some researchers suggest that this moment of observation is also tied to recognition and connection. Your cat is not just looking at you as an object in the environment. It is processing your presence, confirming that you are there, that you are safe, that nothing has changed in a way that requires action. And there is something almost unsettling about this. Because while you are completely unaware, disconnected from everything around you, your cat may be sitting nearby, quietly watching, studying your breathing, your position, your stillness, not with fear, not with confusion, but with attention. And once you realize that your cat is capable of this kind of silent observation, another question naturally follows. If your cat is not just passing by, but actually stopping to watch you, what does it do next when it decides to get closer? Fact 4. The test of presence. After watching you in silence, there is a moment when observation is no longer enough. Your cat moves closer. Slowly, carefully, almost as if measuring each step. And what happens next is one of the most subtle behaviors most people never notice. Your cat tests your presence. Specialists in feline behavior explain that cats rely heavily on proximity and sensory confirmation. Seeing is not enough. They need to smell, to feel, to verify through direct contact that everything is exactly as it should be. Studies from researchers in animal behavior show that cats often approach their owners during sleep to gather information in a more precise way. This can happen in ways so small that you never remember it. A soft touch with the paw, a brief brush against your arm, a moment where your cat circles near your head or chest, close enough to feel your breathing. These are not random movements, they are checks. Experts explain that scent plays a crucial role here. Your body releases subtle chemical signals that change slightly as you move through different stages of sleep. Your cat detects this. It reads these signals in a way that feels natural to it, even though it remains completely invisible to you. But there is also an emotional layer behind this behavior. Researchers who study the bond between humans and animals suggest that this kind of approach is linked to reassurance. Your cat is not only confirming that you are physically present, it is reinforcing a sense of stability, a quiet certainty that its environment and the person it recognizes as part of that environment remains unchanged. This means that while you sleep, your cat may come closer not out of need, but out of awareness, out of a silent instinct to confirm, to reconnect, even if just for a few seconds. And once this moment passes, something even more surprising begins to take shape. Because after checking on you, your cat does not simply move away and forget. In some cases, it begins to adjust itself to you in a way that most people never imagine. Fact 5. The behavior that changes everything. After observing you, approaching you, and confirming your presence, something subtle begins to happen. It is not immediate. It is not obvious. But it is one of the most powerful behaviors your cat displays during the night. Your cat starts to synchronize with you. Researchers who study feline behavior in domestic environments have noticed a pattern that most people completely overlook. Cats do not live in isolation from their owners' routines. Over time, they begin to adapt their activity cycles based on the human they live with. And this adaptation does not stop when you fall asleep. Even during the night, your cat adjusts. Specialists explain that cats are highly sensitive to repetition and rhythm. Your sleep schedule, your breathing patterns, the time you usually wake up, even the subtle sounds you make while sleeping, all become reference points. Your cat absorbs this information and uses it to shape its own behavior. This means that while you are asleep, your cat is not simply active on its own terms. It is aligning parts of its routine with yours. Studies from animal behavior researchers observed that some cats become more active just before their owners wake up, while others reduce movement during deeper sleep phases of their humans. This is not coincidence. It is synchronization built over time through constant exposure and shared space. But there is something deeper behind this. Experts in human-animal relationships suggest that this adjustment is not purely instinctive. It reflects a form of connection. Your cat recognizes you as part of its environment in a way that goes beyond territory. It adapts to you, incorporates your presence into its rhythm, and responds to patterns you are not even aware of. This changes how you see everything, because your cat is not just living in the same house as you. It is living in alignment with you, even when you are unconscious, even when you are completely disconnected from the world around you. And once you realize that your cat can adjust itself to you like this, a new layer of its behavior becomes impossible to ignore. Because while part of it is adapting to your rhythm, another part remains deeply connected to something much older, something instinctive, something that awakens fully in the dark. Fact 6. The night hunt you never see. While part of your cat adapts to your rhythm, another part awakens with full intensity the moment the house goes quiet. This is the side most people never witness, the part that does not depend on you, the part that belongs to something much older. Your cat enters hunting mode. Specialists in feline behavior explain that domestic cats still carry the full structure of a predator. Even without the need to hunt for survival, the instinct remains active, especially during the night. Studies from researchers in animal behavior show that low light conditions trigger a natural increase in focus, sensitivity, and reaction speed. What seems like emptiness to you is filled with signals to your cat. Tiny sounds, subtle vibrations, movements so small they escape human perception. Your cat detects them with precision. Its ears rotate, its pupils expand, its body lowers closer to the ground. Every movement becomes controlled, calculated. And then it begins. Your cat may chase something you cannot see. It may stop suddenly, stare at a point in the dark, then move with speed and accuracy. It may jump, pause, reposition, and repeat the sequence again. To you, if you ever wake up for a second, it may look random, but it is not. Researchers observe that cats simulate full hunting sequences even without prey: stalking, chasing, capturing. These patterns are hardwired. They do not disappear simply because your home is safe. They are rehearsed, reinforced, repeated night after night. But here is what changes everything. Even in this instinct-driven state, your cat does not completely disconnect from you. Experts explain that cats maintain awareness of key elements in their environment while hunting, and you are one of those elements. Your presence remains part of the background your cat constantly monitors. It hunts, but it does not forget where you are. This means that while you sleep, your cat may be moving through the house like a silent predator, fully engaged in a world you cannot perceive, yet still anchored to you in a quiet, continuous way. And after this intense activity, something unexpected often happens. Because even a hunter, after moving through the dark, eventually chooses a place to rest. And sometimes that place is closer to you than you would ever imagine. Fact 7. The rest beside you that you never notice. After moving through the house, after observing, checking, and engaging with its instincts, your cat reaches a moment where activity gives way to something quieter. Not a deep sleep like yours, not a complete shutdown, but a controlled pause. And this is where one of the most meaningful behaviors happens. Your cat chooses to rest near you. Researchers who study feline social behavior have observed that cats do not select resting places randomly. Even in environments with multiple options, they tend to choose locations that offer a combination of safety, warmth, and familiarity. And more often than people realize, that place is somewhere close to their owner. This does not always mean lying directly on you. Sometimes it is at the foot of the bed, sometimes on a chair nearby, sometimes just within a distance where your presence can still be sensed through sound, scent, or subtle movement. The distance may vary, but the intention remains. Experts explain that proximity during rest is a strong indicator of trust. In nature, animals only allow themselves to relax near what they consider safe. Studies from animal behavior specialists show that when a cat rests close to a human, it is not just seeking comfort. It is acknowledging that this presence does not represent a threat. But there is something deeper here. Even while resting, your cat does not fully disconnect. Its ears remain active. Its awareness remains partially engaged. And within that state, your breathing, your position, your subtle movements continue to be part of what it monitors. This creates a shared moment that you never experience consciously. While you are fully asleep, your cat may be resting near you, existing in a space between alertness and calm, where your presence becomes part of its sense of stability. This is not dependency. It is something quieter. It is a form of silent trust. And once you understand that your cat chooses to be near you even when it does not need to, another detail becomes impossible to ignore. Because proximity is not the only way your cat stays connected to you during the night. There is another behavior, even more subtle, that reveals how deeply your presence is embedded in your cat's world. Fact 8. The mapping of your scent. Even when your cat is not directly near you, something of yours continues to guide its behavior through the night. Something invisible, yet constant. Something your cat understands far better than you do. Your scent. Specialists in feline behavior explain that cats rely heavily on scent to interpret their environment. More than vision, more than sound, scent acts as a map. Studies from researchers in animal cognition show that cats identify, organize, and remember spaces based on layers of smell that remain long after movement stops. And inside your home, your scent becomes one of the strongest references. Your bed, your clothes, the places where you sit, the objects you touch throughout the day. All of these carry traces of you. And during the night, your cat interacts with these areas in ways that are subtle but consistent. Researchers observed that cats often revisit objects that carry their owner's scent, especially when the environment is quiet. They may rub against them, lie on them, or simply pause near them. Not out of habit alone, but as a form of recognition and reinforcement. Experts explain that this behavior serves two purposes at the same time. First, it strengthens familiarity. By returning to your scent, your cat reaffirms what belongs to its territory. It organizes its world around what is known and stable. Second, it reinforces connection. Your scent is not just information to your cat, it is identity. It is presence, even when you are not actively interacting. And by engaging with it during the night, your cat maintains a form of closeness that does not depend on direct contact. This means that while you sleep, your cat may be moving between places that represent you, navigating a network of scent that keeps you present in its world at all times. And once you understand this, something even more intriguing emerges. Because after moving, observing, hunting, resting, and reconnecting with your presence in these invisible ways, your cat does something that almost feels intentional. Something that makes it seem as if nothing ever happened. Fact 9. The return before you wake up. As the night comes to an end, something precise begins to happen. Not chaotic, not accidental, but controlled in a way that most people never notice. Your cat starts to transition back. After hours of movement, observation, and silent activity, it returns. Researchers who study feline routines in domestic environments have observed that cats often anticipate changes in human behavior before they actually happen. Subtle shifts in light, temperature, and even your breathing patterns signal that morning is approaching. And your cat responds to these signals with remarkable accuracy. Instead of continuing its nocturnal activity, it begins to reposition itself. Experts explain that cats tend to choose a place close to their owner shortly before they wake up. Sometimes on the bed, sometimes nearby, but always within a range that makes their presence feel continuous, as if they had been there the entire time. This is not random timing. Studies from animal behavior specialists suggest that cats learn the patterns of their owners with precision. They recognize when you are about to wake up, even before you open your eyes, and they adjust their position to align with that moment. But there is something almost strategic about this behavior. Because when you wake up and see your cat calmly resting near you, the natural assumption is simple. It was there all along. It did nothing. It stayed quiet. It slept through the night just like you. And that is the illusion. What you do not see is everything that happened before that moment. The movement, the observation, the patterns, the connection, all of it fades into something that looks still and simple. Experts explain that this continuity reinforces your perception of your cat as calm and predictable, even though its behavior throughout the night was anything but that. This means that every morning, when you open your eyes and see your cat there, you are not witnessing the whole story. You are only seeing the ending. And now that you understand what happens before that ending, something changes. Because you can no longer look at that quiet presence in the same way. You will never sleep the same way again. Now everything connects. What once felt like empty hours, silent and uneventful, reveals itself as something entirely different. Every night you fall asleep thinking nothing is happening, but your cat enters a cycle of awareness, movement, observation, and connection that never truly stops. Researchers in feline behavior have long explained that cats do not separate their world from yours. They integrate it. Your presence, your routines, your scent, your state of rest, all become part of a system your cat continuously reads and responds to. And the night is when that system becomes clearer, more active, more precise. You sleep, your cat observes, you disconnect, your cat remains aware, you become still, your cat adapts, moves, checks, returns. This is not random behavior. It is a silent structure happening every single night, shaped by instinct, reinforced by habit, and deepened by connection. Experts in animal behavior often describe this as a form of coexistence that most humans never fully perceive. Not because it is hidden, but because it happens outside your awareness. You are part of it, even when you are not conscious of it. And this changes how you see your cat. Not as a passive companion that simply rests beside you, but as an active presence that continues to interact with your environment, with your signals, with your existence, even in your absence of awareness. Which means that tonight, when you close your eyes, something will be different. Because now you know. You know that the silence is not empty. You know that the stillness is not still. You know that your cat does not disappear when you sleep. It reveals itself. And once that understanding settles in your mind, there is no going back to the way you used to see those quiet hours. The question you can no longer ignore. Now that you have seen what was always there, the only thing left is a question you cannot ignore anymore. Tonight, when you lie down and close your eyes, will you still believe nothing is happening? Researchers who study the bond between humans and animals explain that awareness changes perception. Once you understand a behavior, you start to notice patterns that were always present but never recognized. And this is exactly what will happen the next time you wake up in the middle of the night, or the next time you look at your cat resting beside you in the morning. You will start to wonder, where was it a few moments ago? What did it do while everything seemed silent? Did it watch you? Did it move through the house following those same invisible paths? Did it come closer without you noticing? These questions are not imagination. They are reflections of behaviors that happen every single night, quietly shaping the relationship between you and your cat. Experts in feline behavior often say that understanding a cat is not about forcing interaction. It is about learning to see what is already there. The subtle signs, the silent routines, the invisible connection that does not depend on words or direct attention, and now you have access to that perspective. So pay attention tonight. Observe the details. Notice what changes, and more importantly, tell me this. Have you ever caught your cat doing any of these things while you were supposed to be asleep? Or did something in this video make you see your cat in a completely new way? Your answer might reveal more than you expect.